This is Brian Browning with Believe in Buckeyes with my co-host, the All-American quarterback, Chindi Chekwai. This show is brought to you by Bet Online. Chim, tell the people about betting online.
Yeah, so BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. If you think you know what you're doing, you think you know your stuff, get in on a $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for a chance to win weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. I'm for sure going to get in on that mega contest this weekend. Big weekend for college football.
Yep.
When the game's over, you can head over to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack, poker. If you like slots, there's 150 slot games. Head to the website to get in on this action. Bet online, that's where the game starts.
And if you have any issues with gambling, always feel free to reach out to 1-800-GAMBLER. They're 24/7 to help you out with anything you may need in that category. But yes, man, our Ohio State Buckeyes welcome the Iowa Hawkeyes to the shoe. We played well. We took it to them. 35-7. Pretty good game, right?
Yeah, real good game. And, I like the ramp up. It's like everybody talks about scheduling tough opponents early on, and we want to see Ohio State versus blah, blah, blah on the neutral site. Listen, I don't want to see that. I like the progression from Akron, Western Michigan to Marshall, which was, to me, was a little bit of step up. Michigan State, another little step up, then to Iowa, a physical Big Ten game to get you ready for the big one coming this weekend against Oregon. And I thought, they passed every test, right? The pre-test, the pre-test, the pre-test, the actual test. And I thought, this Iowa game, I mean, there's always some stuff to clean up, but I thought they've progressed, at least for sure defensively, and have continued to improve their play. And Iowa, I mean, the outcome very similar to the last game, but Iowa is a better football team than Michigan State. And what they were able to accomplish in this game, I think was nothing short of impressive. It shows you what type of team this is.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Iowa came into the game with one loss, right? They lost to Iowa State, I think, on like a last-second touchdown field goal, something of that sort. But coming to this game, we knew this was going to be Ohio State's biggest test in the run, right? They're led by their guy, Caleb Johnson. I believe he was averaging close to 180 yards a game or something like that before the shoe. And he's an Ohio kid, right? So he's in the media talking about, he wouldn't have came to Ohio State even if they offered them. He always wanted to beat Ohio State, and now he was getting this chance to perform in the shoe. And be frank, we really shut him down, right? I mean, defensively, we didn't give up much. I think he did end up the day with 86 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown was late, right? We had backups in. And before that, he had one decent run for like 20-some yards. And that literally was it. Our defense really did a great job at keeping him under wraps.
Yeah, they did. And, in his defense, it wasn't a fair fight. This Ohio State defense is impressive. And, yeah, they held a team who really lives off of the run game to not a lot of rushing yards, not a very effective run game, which means they were being very physical. And I thought, the linebacker play, because we've mentioned it, I think, maybe on almost every show, that we needed to improve at the linebacker position and being able to read and react to run. I thought they played well. I thought guys like Sonny Styles were still getting acclimated to a change of position at linebacker. I thought he did well. Iowa had more of a bigger personnel in for a lot of the game. So you had Oliver Reese in the game. You had 3 linebacker sets. You had Sonny Styles playing that Sam linebacker. And he looks good at that closer line of scrimmage. He looks good at the end. But, he was being able to get tackled for loss. He was able to get in the backfield. He dropped the coverage well. I thought he had a really good game. And that's needed, right? Going into, what we're having next, to see him progress at that position. So kudos to him and the defense across the board. Those safeties, man, those Ohio State safeties and a nickel corner, those guys get all over the field and are very, very effective players and versatile players, being able to stop the run and do well in coverage as well.
Yeah, and like you said, Sonny Styles led the team in tackles with 7 tackles, 4 solo, 2 tackles for loss. And I mean, obviously, I think he kind of showed. I mean, obviously, this is not Sonny's first game, but we know he has a different position. And like I said, we kind of been working some things, improving here, some things we think he needs to work at. But I think you kind of said it before the show, like a game like this is a game that he really could like show his skills, right? It's going more of a heavier front. These guys are going to come straight at us. And if Sonny Styles is anything, he's a big physical guy, right? And so he was able to kind of put that on display this weekend. But I want to kind of shout out the trenches, man. Whenever you're playing a team like Iowa, Wisconsin, some of these older school Big Ten games, like it's all about the trenches play. And I feel like our offensive line and defensive line was definitely up for the task. And essentially, I'll be honest, I feel like we really dominated in the trenches on both sides of the ball, just really throughout the whole game, right?
Yeah, and it's impressive on both sides, but specifically the run game. Because Iowa has been a team that didn't allow a lot of rush shots. I don't think they had a 100-yard run game against them, even in the game they lost to Iowa State. I think Iowa had like 89 yards or something like that. So Ohio State was able to go out there and pretty much double the amount of rush yards that they'd given up all year throughout all those games, which is nothing short of impressive. Because a lot of times what we do as fans is we look at teams, we look at rankings, and we say like, yeah, Ohio State's supposed to blow out Iowa because they're a better team. They got more talent, whatever. But how do they win, right?
Right.
Because, even teams that may have lesser talent, if they're good at something, they're going to be good at that. And you got to try to overcome that. So they are a good run defense. And Ohio State was able to run all over them. So that to me, that goes to show that, this team knows what their identity is. And they're going to be able to do it. No matter what you do to try to stop it, they're going to be able to run the football. And that's what I like to see going into a big matchup against Oregon. I needed that confirmation. I got it this game.
Right. Yeah, Ohio State was over 200 yards rushing on the day. Will Howard was also, once again, efficient, 21 to 25. But I guess it's needless to say that, obviously we ended up winning the game by 28 points and we kind of en route. But at halftime, the game was only 7-0, right? Iowa kind of came out and was able to really, they did some things, right, to kind of keep Ohio State in wraps. First half, we have, 2 fumbles. So we have a fumble, Jeremiah Smith fumbled. And then we have the interception by Will Howard, and we also got stopped on the 4th and 1, which kind of it's like a turnover, right? Right. You want to end what Chelsea you say? You want to end every possession with a kick, right? Extra point, field goal, punt, and we get stopped on the 4th down. We don't able to get that. But I guess what does that kind of does for the team to say, like, obviously we played well in the long run, but it took us really 3 going into 4 quarters for us to kind of really get control of the game. What's your thoughts on, I guess, the Buckeye early play? Was it a slow start? Was it sloppy? Or was it just was what it was?
Yeah, I think sloppy would be a little bit of overstatement. There was two turnovers in that 4th down. I know some other stuff that happened early, but obviously you're not going to play a perfect game. But I think, the young player, Jeremiah Smith, on a big run play. This was a drive. If you watch that drive, they're about to go score. Mm-hmm. They're going to get points, right? And he fumbles on a big explosive play. That's a learning experience for him. And it's better to have it now in a blowout than to have it next game in a huge game. And then, Will Howard throwing the interception. Well, we got to understand, I know we hate to see it, quarterbacks throw interception. Like, I'm a defensive back. I've never played against a quarterback that doesn't throw interceptions. Every single quarterback throws picks. That's the reality. That on that particular play, I don't think it was a bad decision. There's a ranking in terms of the type of interception. The week before, the interception he threw was a bad interception. This past week, you don't want it. I wouldn't say it's a good interception. There's no good ones, right? But the defensive player made a great play. The ball seemed like it was thrown maybe a little bit behind. The defensive player was in good coverage. It ended up being a pick. I like the way he bounced back. And just was, because it was a very efficient game for him, very accurate. And the one thing I like about Will Howard in this offense, it seems like whenever they touch the red zone, they score.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
I thought slow start, but once they were able to get into that red zone, they made it count, and that's why you get that lead.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the season, I guess it's a good time to shout it out. For the season, Ohio State is 100% in the red zone. So every time we get in the red zone, we have scored. And all except for one has been touchdown. So, I mean, that's ideal, right? You get to the red zone, you score a touchdown. You're not just kind of settling for three there, but you obviously want to get points. You want to get a touchdown. We've been doing a great job at that.
One thing I would say, what it does do going into this game is it's a reminder. Take care. You got to take care of the football on the road, right? Let's show this clip over and over again to everybody so that they don't have the same mistake. The other thing, and this is one thing, in the instant reaction social media, landscape, Twitter and Facebook and other stuff, we react to every single mistake, right? And I do it too, right? So I'm not pointing fingers, right? But one of the things that was I think a primary complaint is like soft coverage by the corners and all that stuff. But they were stopping the offense, right? No points. Iowa had no points. And everybody's complaining about the defense. Look, they're gonna mix it up on defense. I thought they did a good job. And I want to give a shout out to Davidson Ibanosin catching a pick, completely destroying the receiver. Well, he did get a chance.
Destroying
him. Huh?
I said he destroyed him.
Yes, he's a guy who likes to play tight coverage. He got his chance to do so, jammed him up, got the pick. I mean, that's great play, man. And I'm expecting to see some more of that. They got some better receivers this game, but expecting to see some more of that against Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I say, it was a tough game at halftime. The score was close, but Iowa was a good team, right? we know Iowa could play good defense, so their defense had a few takeaways. They stopped us on fourth down. I think we need better execution there, right? Because fourth and short, it should be, kind of in our favor. We didn't exactly get the job done there. But I was a good team. So for them, 7-0 was probably ideal for them, right? Low scoring game, but in the second half, we don't make those mistakes. We don't have those turnovers, and then we're able to kind of put the foot to the throttle there and get away with it. And then eventually, we throw the ball up to Jeremiah Smith, and that just equals a touchdown. So, certain things just start to kind of go your way throughout the course of the game if you're Ohio State.
Yeah, and those red zone touchdowns, man, we talked about how they've been 100% in scoring when they hit the red zone. That's part of the reason why. You got Jeremiah Smith you can throw the ball up to, and you can get in the end zone. That's a huge weapon to be able to get. If you get in the red zone, you're going to put up points. That's a huge weapon. But you also got to look at Will Howard's ability to throw an accurate pass and deliver those balls to the receivers. The receivers are making great catches.
Mm-hmm.
But, he's putting it on the money. And that's a key element of being successful. If you can get to the red zone and you're putting up points every time, that's what wins football games.
Yeah.
That's what wins football games consistently.
Right. And also, just real quick before we start diving into this Oregon game, Emeka Egbuka, 9 catches, 71 yards, 3 touchdowns. He remains to be pretty good, right? Pretty good stuff out of here. Yeah, man. But as we see, we got our black on, man. We both we didn't plan this beforehand. We both put our black on. Look, we both got gold chains on. I think we know it's game time, man. It's really game week. We've been leading up to this October 12th date. We started talking about it before the season. Great college football all throughout that day. But our Buckeyes are going on the road to play the number 3 team in the nation, the Oregon Ducks, being led by Dylan Gabriel. I guess, what's your quick thoughts on that game? Are you fired up, pumped up? What's the plan here?
Yeah, I'm going to start by saying, Oregon is a really good football team. And there is a really good, not just a good team, but they're a good program. So they're going to continue to be a really good football team. What Dan Lanning has done there, to me, the ability to bring kind of that defensive mindset to an Oregon team that's always known for high-powered offenses, that has to me taken them to another level. Like they've gotten to the next level. With that being said, I think Oregon, even right now at this point in the season, is still kind of figuring stuff out offensively. I honestly think right now, which is kind of odd to say, the strength of this defense right now to me, the strength of this team to me is the defense. They've been executing on defense well. The Michigan State game was just, oh my goodness, it was hard to watch the way they was running through Michigan State, but their execution has been has been pretty good. They got a lot of good talent. They got some transfers in that have been effective. They have a good defensive line. So they've been playing really good on defense. So I think they're going to be formidable on defense. However, Ohio State run game to me cannot be stopped, and I don't think it's going to be stopped this weekend. And because of that, that's the strength of their defense. The strength of their team is the defense, and I don't think that defense is going to be able to stop the run game without really committing to stopping the run. And I think if they commit too much, they won't be able to stop the explosive plays. So I think that's going to be their challenge and Ohio State's advantage, going into this game.
Yeah, so as you just stated, Oregon played Michigan State. They won 31-10. As we know, 2 weeks ago, Ohio State played Michigan State. We won 38-7. So I don't know if that means anything to somebody out there, but no, just playing. Obviously, that don't mean anything, right? They both won the Michigan State game pretty favorably. But what it comes down to, though, absolutely, as we know, that this Oregon team is, like I said, it's led by the quarterback transfer, Dylan Gabriel transferred over from Oklahoma. And he could do some things, right? I mean, he's definitely a capable quarterback. For the season, he's at 77% on passing accuracy, that's pretty good, man. That's winning the position right there. He's a smaller guy. He's a quick guy, so he definitely uses his feet to kind of get himself active. And I guess obviously our defense has been pretty good. I think we only averaging giving us 6 points a game. But if we have had one struggle this season, has been more of a spread offense where guys are running the ball and the quarterback is capable of running the ball as well. What's your thoughts on, I guess, the plan to kind of keep a Gabriel in check so we make sure he's not running all over the field and busting open coverages with big plays and things of that nature?
I'm curious how Knowles approaches this game because, as you mentioned, we've had some challenges with being able to contain a running quarterback, especially against those teams that spread everything out, create a light box, and run. Ohio State has stayed in kind of like a cover 4, split safety look, but not really. Those safeties haven't been really aggressive in the run, kind of really protecting for minimizing explosive plays.
Yeah.
I'm expecting, and this is just me with no actual knowledge, expecting them to be a little bit more aggressive with the play calling, still trying to minimize the explosive plays, but mixing it up a lot more. Because you didn't really need to mix it up against Western Michigan, Marshall, Akron, right? You didn't really need to. And then Iowa came, they put a lot of guys in the box, single high safety looks to really stop the run. But Iowa is a different type of offense. So I expect Knowles to have a plan. I expect that they already had kind of a little bit of a framework of a plan, a concept of a plan, to quote Trump, going into this. But, I think they mix it up. I think the quarterback, who is a really good player, just from what I've seen, it doesn't seem like, he's tasked with going through a lot of progressions. It doesn't seem like it seemed like you can confuse the offense a little bit, and with disguise and different things and coming with different blitzes. So I think they could really affect Oregon with a good game plan and doing some of the stuff that we've seen before, but also just playing a little bit more aggressive, a little bit mixing in more blitzes, putting more guys in the box to stop the run. But I will say this: Oregon feasts off of explosive plays. They need to run the ball, and they got to get explosives to be successful. And they got 2 really good receivers out there, and maybe more than two, but they definitely got 2 really good receivers that can create those explosives. So I know going in, the game plan is going to be minimize those explosive plays, but they're going to have to stop the run, I think, first and foremost, to be able to win this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of old school when it comes to football. I'm all about stopping the run first on the way to affecting the quarterback. So I think this is one of those games. They're led running by James, who's averaging 6 yards a carry. They're averaging as a team 160 yards rushing per game, which is not bad at all, right? But I saw Ohio State will be tasked with kind of keeping things contained. To me, whenever you're playing a quarterback like Gabriel, you almost want to try to keep him in the pocket. We know he could have some error throws if you kind of put the pressure on him in the correct manner. And so I want to kind of see us kind of going back to how we rushed last year. If you remember last year, it was like, well, our guys not winning fast. They're kind of slow about getting to the quarterbacks because they're really putting the emphasis on beating the offensive lineman physically before getting off to make a play. And I kind of want to see this go back to that this week. Keep the guy in the pocket, crunch the pocket, move it down, squeeze the pocket more or less, and then we'll be able to kind of have success and slowing him down in the pass. And the run is the run, right? I think so far, like you said, we've been having some issues with more of that spread attack. But what really was happening in a lot of those situations is it looks like some of our D linemen are like playing for a sack, right? So they're kind of shooting up the field right away, and they're kind of creating natural lanes for the running back. So I want to see them kind of, play their keys. If it's heavy up front, the offensive lineman's playing them heavy, go through him. Don't create those own lanes, because that's what Oregon has always tried on. Self-creating lanes, kind of getting on different planes, and then them having fast guys to be able to hit it fast and make explosive game. So I want to kind of, it's going to be, obviously, we're playing Oregon, so it's like, it may not be, in our head the most physical of games, but I think we need to make it that way. We need to be the aggressor, make the game really physical for them, and then our talent would kind of shine in that matter. But we need to be tough up front, offensive line, defensive line, be stout, and make it happen from there.
Yeah, I don't see Oregon really running, being that effective between the tackles. And, I feel like if you remember when they came out to Columbus and won a few years back, that was probably
Yeah. We owe them, right. Yeah.
But a lot of the plays were outside runs, forcing the corners to tackle, and that approach. I expect to see something similar, right? Forcing the DBs to get in the run fit and make plays, cracking the linebackers, etc. So it's going to take all 11 guys to stop this run. And at the same time, those same DBs are going to have to make sure they keep the top on the defense too. So everybody's going to need to be able to read and react to run. If they do, I don't think their pass game is effective enough to be able to beat this team if they can't if they can't get what they've been getting against some of the other teams in the run game. And so I think they have to have be really effective in the run game all game to really have the type of success that they need to win this game.
Yeah, right. So just real quick, so obviously big game on the road, night game, everyone will be watching. What are you doing for the game? You going out there, man? You gonna be at the house, man? Maybe taking some shots of that Buckeye vodka, man? Like, what's the plan for Saturday night?
Yeah, I might crack open a bottle of the Buckeye vodka and kind of pregame. All right, get my mind right to see how these teams attacking us.
Yeah, man. I know it's early in the week. Any prediction? Score prediction? You got anything?
And I got all the respect in the world for this Oregon team and this Oregon program. But I just think, to me, even though they've been dominating the last two games, just watching their offense and stuff, I think their offense is really still kind of limping into this game. I don't think they fully figured it out. I think Ohio State wins this by at least 17 points.
17 points. Wow.
So I'm going to go with a score of 27-10.
27-10.
27-10 is what I'm going to end up with.
I got you. I think it'll be a little bit more scoring. I'm going to give Oregon 17 points. Ohio State kind of keep it rolling, and they get to about the 35-42 range. I think they're going to figure out some ways. I think they've been waiting for this game. We've been kind of moving and shaking around, but everyone been having this circle here on Ohio State. Like most people are circled on Ohio State's calendar schedule. And I think we'll be ready. I think our guys will go out there, play well under the lights, and kind of show America what type of team that we're dealing with. But we got to just shout out real quick, man. We had some upsets over the weekend. I think I sent you a clip. I sent it to in my other group chat. Like Vegas knew that the Washington Huskies should be the favorite against the number 10 team in the country, that team up north, and they came out victorious, man. Right?
Washington plays solid ball. I hadn't watched them play football. I just watched scores. I haven't looked at the stats. But I learned that, Washington has a decent team. And, I don't know what happened in the prior games, but they look like a formidable team. Both their quarterbacks could start for Michigan. Both of them. They have 2 quarterbacks on the roster better than Michigan's best quarterback. And then Michigan is lost. They're lost again. Man. I thought they found their identity. But the reason that they're lost is because they have really good defensive players. But they have not reached their potential on defense. I don't know what they're doing on defense. It's like the defensive coordinator and the defense are on two different the people the guys executing the defense is on 2 different pages. Guys running free, boom or bust. But yeah, they're I don't know what they're doing defensively, and obviously don't have no passing game. It's going to be a long season.
Yeah, man. I mean, just real quick, I know Michigan definitely has some defensive linemen that once we get ready, get ready for that game, we'll get ready for those guys. But I have to agree. They played a third quarterback, Tuttle, this weekend, and I think he gave him a little spark when he started, but then he ended really garbage. You know what I mean? He kind of cost the game. So I don't know, man. Michigan's a mess. I had them down for 4 losses before the season. They may creep up and get 5 or 6 losses for the season.
I gotta say this, man. There was a big play when Washington's trying to make their comeback and score, where Michigan runs this zone blitz, and I promise you, they had maybe 6 guys in coverage, maybe 5 guys in coverage or whatever. 4 or 5 guys in coverage. None of them were covering anybody. I know it's a zone, but when you send a blitz, like that, you got to match to somebody.
You got to match.
They got the guy who they say is the top corner in the nation, and he is guarding grass. Meanwhile, there's 2 open guys running across the field, man. But yeah, they're just lost defensively, and I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, man. It was upsets across the nation, though. Obviously, Alabama had a big win, big letdown against Vanderbilt. Missouri was undefeated. Texas A&M took it to them. Tennessee was undefeated, and they got lost a game to Arkansas. But it's kind of just I don't know. It's kind of like Tennessee's MO. But Penn State is still winning, right? And, Texas is still winning. So, the season is shaping up, man. Guys are getting in position in those playoff spots. So, it's college football. It's exciting.
SEC still remains a little bit overrated. But
we can have a whole show on that. Yeah. But that's our show for today, man. Catch us this week. We'll be having special guests. But I think we're going to try to link up with our Oregon guys, our Believe in Oregon guys, and kind of hype up the game. We're going to be jumping on live. So if you're a fan of Believe in Buckeyes, follow this week. We're definitely going to do it big for the big one Saturday. Catch us on all platforms. But we end all our shows with an OH.
Ayo.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Beat that team out west.
Out west. That team out west. Yeah, there you go.